gonna shoot at the Saints tonight. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for some football? For Monday Night Party? We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it kick-started. Lynn and the crew's all set. The crowd is psyched. 'Cause all my rowdy friends are back for Monday night.
The Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, one of the splendid attractions of the Crescent City, a city with a year-round holiday spirit, and it's bubbling over tonight. The Dome, home of the New Orleans Saints, also in a festive spirit tonight, is also sold out as the Dallas Cowboys have come to town. Hello again, everyone. Frank Everett with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Happy you're with us. An interesting game for you tonight. The Cowboys and these New Orleans Saints. The Saints come in tonight. They are 6-8, but would you believe they still have a mathematical shot of reaching the playoffs? That depends upon 5 games. The first one tonight, 4 next weekend. We'll talk about that a little later on. They feel they are up to it, however. They are playing the best football they have played all season. They have won 2 in a row for the first time this year. Won them both on the road against divisional opponents. They're going to give it a go tonight. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys, a team you're well aware of, went through enormous change during the offseason, losing a lot of personnel, changing personnel. More importantly, they changed at the top. Out went Jimmy Johnson, in came Barry Switzer, and Al, nevertheless, they have won the division. They have the home field advantage. It leads to the playoffs. They have that first week off. They've done everything they wanted to do.
Well, when the year began, remember that Jerry Jones went out on what I feel was the longest limb anyone in contemporary American sports has been out on ever, because Jimmy Johnson was a tremendously successful coach. Barry Switzer had never coached a minute in the National Football League. In fact, hadn't coached, period, in over 5 years. Doomsayers predicted disaster. It's been anything but a disaster. They barely skipped a beat with a mark of 11-3. But 2 weeks ago, they had to go right down to the wire to beat Philadelphia. Then last week, they lost to Cleveland. Barry Switzer said, even though tonight's game doesn't mean anything, and neither does next week's game against the Giants in the Meadowlands, we have to get this bad taste out of our mouths. Then they'll have a week off before they play a playoff game at home on the 7th of January. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are playing in cruise control. They have to start thinking about getting into overdrive. And they'll do that tonight against the New Orleans Saints. As Frank mentioned, Dan, it's the first time all season they've won 2 straight. Jim Mora feels they're playing better than they played in all of 1994.
Because they are rebuilding, Al. Jim Mora won't say it, but that's exactly what the Saints are doing. This was a ball club in 91 that was at 11-5. And then in 92, they went to 12-4. Then last year they slipped to 8-8, and they were $12 million over the salary cap. A lot had to be done. So what happened? A lot of the older, high-priced veterans had to go. The Saints found themselves a quarterback. They got Jim Everett, thrown for over 3,300 yards, completing almost 64% of his passes. All the offensive starters are signed. A little work yet to do on defense. The Saints took a test 3 weeks ago. They got bombed by the 49ers. Tonight, this test is against the Cowboys.
And the Saints will take the kickoff. Chris Boniol sends it down to Tyrone Hughes at the 7-yard line. And Hughes brings it back out to the 26. A 19-yard run back. And we'll take a look at the New Orleans Saints offensively. Jim Everett, after several seasons with the Rams, came over for a 7th-round draft choice. And he's had a fine season with 19 touchdown passes, 50 receptions. Behind him, Mario Bates, the rookie from Arizona State. Lorenzo Neal is the blocking back. Quinn Early and the ex-Falcon Michael Haynes, the wideouts. Irv Smith has done a nice job at tight end. Willie Roaf goes to the Pro Bowl. Dombrowski, Ulenake, Port, and Williams up front. Irv Smith moves to the right side, strong side right. Everett rolls that way and then overthrows Irv Smith, the tight end. It'll be 2nd and 10. Defensively now for the Cowboys, Tony Tolbert's having an excellent year. Russell Maryland and Leon Lett are the tackles. Charles Haley on the other side. The 3 linebackers, Dixon Edwards, Robert Jones, and Darren Smith. And in the secondary, Kevin Smith on the left side. Clayton Holmes starts for Larry Brown on the right side. Washington and Woodson are the safeties. 2nd down, 10 from the 26-yard line. Smith in motion. Mario Bates got tripped at the line of scrimmage, fell over the leg of Russell Maryland. It's a minimal gain. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
A couple of things we'll be watching for tonight will be the battle over on the left side of that offensive line for New Orleans, Dan, between William Roth against Charles Haley, who's having a great year, and Larry Brown's replacement, Clayton Holmes, how he'll hold up against the likes of Michael Haynes.
Well, there's a good look at Mario Bates, who just trips over his own man. The Saints have the 26th best running attack in the National Football League. They're good throwing the ball, but really haven't run the ball on anybody with success.
Everett from the gun on 3rd down and 8. And no play. The whistles had sounded before the play. Willie Williams, the left tackle, was one of the men moving.
Number 65, the offense, false start, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Dale Hamer making the call. He's the referee. As you look at Jim Moore in his 9th season as the Saints head coach.
As Frank mentioned, we will be taking a look at William Rofe over on the left side. What a fine young prospect he is, and this is a guy. There's the man he's up against tonight, Charles Haley.
Teammates in the Pro Bowl.
Yes. Haley will be there with many of his Dallas friends. William Rofe will have to make some friends when he's over there.
Cowboys have 11 guys going to the Pro Bowl, and the Saints have 1. 3rd and 13. Everett throws underneath to Derek Brown, their 3rd down specialist, and Brown is out to the 37-yard line and should have a 1st down. He made it by a half yard, and James Washington is shaken up for the Cowboys, still on his knees.
Derek Brown was a starting running back for the Saints a year ago, and you saw him display that. Now he's a 3rd down specialist, as Al mentioned, comes out of the backfield. Here he works on a little tight screen to the inside, knows where he has to go for the 1st down, pulls ahead and gets it.
Good blocks out front by Chris Port, Jim Dombrowski, Jeff Ulenik, the center. Well executed screen, and boy, so critical for the Saints to get a 1st down on their first series rather just 3 and out.
And off a 3rd and 13 as well, as Mario Bates picks up a couple, takes it out to the 39-yard line, gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 on the game's opening drive.
You know, one of the things I think New Orleans has to do, and Jim Moore has got to be willing to risk it. He'd love to run the ball, but the Dallas Cowboys have 2 great safeties that support the run like nobody in this league, Washington and Darren Woodson. Now, you've got to get them conscious of deep coverage, helping their cornerbacks, instead of reading run and coming up and playing like linebackers. And New Orleans have got to put it up deep on the outside, and they should do it early.
I'd find out how Washington is now. He remained in the game after being shaken.
Everett throws a wobbler. It's caught by Michael Haynes up at the 46-yard line, a little short of the 1st down, but they give him a good spot. Now he's very close to it. In fact, they have it. Washington and Holmes make the tackle.
Holmes spun out of there. He was about 10 yards deep in his zone coverage. Watch Holmes, number 47, 3rd round draft pick a year ago out of Carson Newman, giving all kinds of room to Michael Haynes, respecting that speed. And Haynes perhaps pulling up a little early. They might have even spotted it for a 1st.
Very generous spot.
Oh, good look at Everett. If they go with their first pass, they go against the new man back there, Clayton Holmes.
It looked like Leon Lett got a finger on that ball. Looked like his right thumb just altered the course of that football ever so slightly. Haynes still able to make the catch, but the big cat, Leon Lett, got a hand on that ball definitively.
Oh, he does get his hand on a lot of balls.
Sure did.
Haynes making his 68th catch of the season. 1st and 10 up at the 47-yard line. This is Bates. He picks up 3. Mario Bates, when the season began and the play was whistled dead, was in contention for the number 1 running back spot. Then he got into a spat in a local eatery with Lorenzo Neal. Neal punched him. Bates' jaw was broken, and he was out for a month and a half.
They missed 5 full games for the New Orleans Saints, and he is he's a talent. That's Lorenzo Neal right there, who's over on the Saints sideline, who's played a great deal this year at fullback.
Potential litigation involved maybe down the line.
Well, they were talking about it at least as of 3 weeks ago. 2nd down and 7. And the catch is made by Haynes. He picks up the 1st down before he is run out of bounds by Darren Woodson. So a good opening drive for the Saints as they have picked up 3 first downs.
Good blitz adjustment there, Frank.
There was, and Michael Haynes adjusting with it. Breaks off the pattern, breaks it off short. Good read between Jim Everett, who's having a superb year. He has the best numbers he's had in 9 years. Is a 63.4% percentage of completion, far and away the best he's ever had in 9 years.
8th play of the drive coming at the 41-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Everett straight dropping. Good protection, goes up. Terrible pass. Intercepted by Tony Tolbert. Everett is the only guy who has a chance to get him, and he gets blocked out of the play. Touchdown.
What a catch of that ball by Tony Tolbert.
What a fine throw, too, huh?
Anything you could imagine there is
Put the old clothespin over your nose for that throw.
Boy, you're raving about Jim Everett. He absolutely hit Tolbert dead in stride, if you will, but still a good effort on the part of Tolbert.
Not the place you would expect to find a defensive end out in the flat, and that's exactly where Tony Tolbert goes. He comes upfield. He reads the screen right away, and what a brilliant play. They're trying to throw it out to Mario Bates, and Tolbert reads it, floats out with it, gets a lead block here from Darren Smith, and gets the touchdown. What a piece of improvisation by Tony Tolbert.
I wonder if it's improvised, Dan, or it looks so deliberate.
Well, he reads the back. He reads the back flaring out and went with it.
Bonio for the extra point. 54-yard interception return. Carl Smith seated on the Saints bench and going over things with Jim Everett after a horrible pass after a very promising beginning to the drive.
What's that saying down there? Who dat gonna be them Saints?
Yeah.
Beat them Saints? I think Jim Everett went over there and said, who dat caught that ball?
Yeah. First interception of Tolbert's career and his first touchdown. And it's a bouncing kick by Bonio, taken at the 19-yard line by Derek Ned, the backup fullback. That brings it to the 33, and now another look at the interception and the touchdown. Meanwhile, we've got offside here against the Dallas Cowboys on the kickoff.
Jim Everett, he reads the linebacker before he comes back out in the flat, and for some reason with the crowd in front of him, he didn't see Tolbert or whatever. It was a terrible pass that he threw, but he read the linebacker in the coverage trying to go downfield, came off it, tried to get it out to Bates, and Tolbert takes it in for 6.
And I give all the credit in the world to Tony Tolbert. He read screen. He thought he was going to be chop blocked by Willie Williams, the tackle. Rather than engage him, floats out to try to take the screen away and finds himself right in the middle of a touchdown play. That is a big-time play by Tony Tolbert, who's really trying to crack that upper echelon of defensive ends in the NFC to go to the Pro Bowl.
Beautiful aerial view of the Louisiana Superdome. The Cowboys were offside on the kickoff, and the penalty was declined. And now the Saints begin drive number 2 from the 33-yard line. There's movement on the right side. The play continues, and Everett's going for 6, and in double coverage, it's incomplete, intended for Michael Haynes.
Jim Jeffcoat coming on the far side of the Cowboys. Interesting that Tony Tolbert is the only member of that starting front 4 that's not going to the Pro Bowl.
And Tony Tolbert's going to be an unrestricted free agent.
5 yards, still first down.
Jim Jeffcoat. And what they're going to do is try to sign Tony. In fact, the Cowboys have an offer on the table right now for Tony Tolbert in the $6 million range for 4 years. They may go up to 7 after that last pick.
Yeah, they went up a little right there.
You know, and that's why, too. It's his ability to make those plays. And, of course, Tony makes a legitimate argument that my stats would be a lot better, but I'm replaced by Jeffcoat on passing downs.
It is 1st and 5. And tackled for a loss in the backfield is Mario Bates. Charles Haley penetrates to get him. ABC's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's just plain smart to fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. And Beechwood aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
Charles Haley is probably having the best year of his career. 11.5 sacks, 52 quarterback pressures, 6 sacks in the last 4 games. He's healthy. He's almost impossible to block. So quick. Really quick there.
Very quick.
He got confused by Irv Smith going in motion.
Officials conferred.
Now,
Hamer will give us the call in a second.
Questioner is whether
they got something else going.
well,
other than,
are they going to? They might be trying to make a case that Irv Smith flinched when he went in motion, trying to draw him offside.
There's no foul on the play. 82 did not simulate the start of the snap. 82 did not simulate the start of the snap.
And Haley got back.
Well, of course he wasn't simulating the start of it. He's going in motion. Here he is. That's his rear end sticking the farthest out. There goes Smith in motion.
Haley gets back.
Now, the one thing you got, Irv Smith did drop back and make it look a little bit like pass protection before he then turned his shoulders and went in motion. That's kind of a gray area there. I can see why Haley jumped.
That's kind of messy is what it was.
Yeah.
It is 2nd and 8 at the 36-yard line. Derek Brown is in the game, and he gets the ball, and he goes nowhere. Runs into Leon Lett, the first to pop him at the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
See Big Leon shaking his head. No, not in here. Not where I pitched my tent. I don't think you ought to try to run in here.
Boy, he has really come on, hasn't he? He is the big man, the run stuffer, if you will. Number 78, 288 pounds. The rest of these defensive front seven for the Cowboys are rather small. They don't have a linebacker that weighs 240.
Look at this.
They are quick.
Not in here. No. This is Leon's.
Thank you.
This is Leon's turf.
3rd down and 8. Torrance Small in motion. They'd like to go to Small, number 83, on a 3rd down plays, but this time they go the other way to Quinn Early, and he makes the catch up at the 46, and that is enough for a 1st down, covered by Kevin Smith.
His 71st reception for Quinn Early, and who would have ever dreamed that Jim Mora team would have somebody that caught 70 on one side, 67 on the other. That's the kind of ball they've had to play this year. Good drive by Early. Makes Kevin Smith respect the deep move. It's enough for the 1st down, and Everett has it right on the numbers.
If you're just joining us, 8.5 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. The Cowboys have not had the ball yet offensively, but they lead 7-0 on a 54-yard interception run back by Tony Tolbert. And cracking his way through the middle is Mario Bates across the 50 and down to the Dallas 47-yard line, tackled by Darren Smith.
And this is what New Orleans wants to do. They want to run the middle if they can, run over the left side where the strength of their offensive line is. Carl Smith making the calls from the sideline, but that's what they want to do. If they can get Dallas to respect the run, get the 2 safeties coming up to support it, they can go to work passing on the outside.
2nd and a long 2, and this is Bates taking it just inside the 43, and that's going to be a 1st down.
The Saints will run right just enough to break their percentages, just enough to give the other team's computer something to think about. But when it's money time, they will run behind Willie Rofe, and they will run behind Jim Dombrowski over on the left side. It is where their strength is. Carl Smith knows it. And when they need some yards, 77 and 72 are the 2 guys that they are going to come behind for good reason. Excellent football players.
7:15 to go 1st quarter, 7-0 Cowboys. Everett on 1st down, the fake to Bates, and then the pocket collapses, and down he goes, and Russell Maryland will get the sack. 9-yard sack.
A lot of pulling, giving an odd look there by the New Orleans Saints, a scheme that doesn't really work very well against the Dallas Cowboys because of how quickly their defensive line penetrate. You can fake them by doing something. These guys keep going right upfield. Boy, look at Maryland just split inside, bounced off 2 guys, stayed on his feet. That's what that low center of gravity does for Russell Maryland.
2nd and 19. Derek Brown is the running back in this set. Everett down the sideline, but too far. Intended for Quinn Early. James Washington covering on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 19 from the New Orleans 49.
I think James Washington might have missed the receiver, but he got our audio guy. That's a good sound of I hope we don't have an injury on the sidelines down here. Let's take a look at Washington follow through.
2nd and long is not good territory against the Dallas Cowboys. They are so quick at the line of scrimmage, getting to the passer. They bring in that dime defense, and they're tough to beat.
3rd and 19. 4-man rush, and the pass is incomplete. intended for the tight end Wesley Walls, who gets crunched by James Washington as the ball arrives.
That ball was perfectly thrown. The ball would have been caught except for one thing. James Washington, who hits like a linebacker, as I said earlier, he just flat knocked the ball out of there.
And there's a flag down.
Look at that hit. A shoulder hit. The ball ripped out of there.
Penalty will be against New Orleans, and Dallas will decline it.
Offense, number 85. That was declined. 4th down.
You could see that Wesley Walls had possession of the football. He had it under control. But the rules of the game are both feet must touch the ground while you have that possession of the football. And the hit from Washington came and dislodged the ball before he got both feet down.
Well, we looked at it in slow motion. Yeah, that regular speed is something different.
That sends you right to the hot tub.
Tommy Barnhart has to jump up to bring the snap down, and floats one that bounces at the 9. And Karen's in the air into the end zone, but Derek Ned goes down there in the air to bat it back, and it's blown dead at the 3.
Great play by Ned. Leaped into the end zone and batted it back.
Terrific play to pin Dallas deep, and 8:45 into the game. We'll see Aikman for the first time. Play by Derek Ned to pin the Cowboys deep.
Try this in your backyard sometime. And he gets a hand and swats that ball back out there when his right foot was still about 2 or 3 inches off the ground.
And Troy Aikman on first down throws to the tight end Jay Novacek, and Dallas's first offensive play is an 18-yard pickup up to the 21-yard line. Let's take a look now at that Dallas offense. Troy Aikman in his 6th season, at the very top of his game until the recent injury, the sprained knee. Emmitt Smith having another banner year. The Moose is the fullback. Harper and Irvin, the great wideouts. Novacek, the tight end. And up front, Tuanay goes to the Pro Bowl for the first time. Newton, Stepnoski, Kennard, and Larry Allen replacing Eric Williams, who was hurt in that auto accident in October. Emmitt Smith burrows his way for a gain of 4 out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Saints defense. Martin, Warren, the longtime veteran, and Joe Johnson, the rookie out of Louisville. Darian Connor, the venerable 35-year-old Mills with the rookie Tubbs, the inside backers, Turnbull, the other outside linebacker. Spencer and Othello Henderson starting at the corners. Lumpkin and Buck are the safeties. Vinnie Clark will also see a lot of action. He is in there right now. Came over from Atlanta about a month ago. 2nd down and 6. Emmett banged down by the venerable Mills after a pickup of 2. 3rd and 4.
Who at 35 years old, Jim Moore will tell you, is having one of his banner years. He's had a lot of them. A Pro Bowler from years past. Watch on the right side. Number 51 fights off the block. And he's not all that big either. 229 pounds. Low center of gravity. Got caught off the big man. For the tackle.
You just have to say over and over, 5'9", 5'9". How is it possible someone of that height to be playing linebacker in the NFL?
3rd down and 4 at the 27-yard line. Aikman over the middle of 10. It's Smith for a first down up to the 34-yard line. He's tackled by Ronaldo Turnbull with 4.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, and Dallas up 7-zip.
So many weapons against a team, the New Orleans team, defensively ranked after 14 games, 26th in the National Football League, and the secondary where one man remains from a year ago, Vince Buck. He played cornerback a year ago. And you look up and you see the likes of Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin, Jay Novacek. Tough to do it.
Smith is their second leading receiver. That's his 46th grab. Irvin leads with 71. And you can make it 72 as Michael hauls in his first reception of the night. The Bud 1 airship providing the scenics. That's a live view of the Superdome in downtown New Orleans.
Michael Irvin came into this game needing 157 yards for a 4th consecutive 1,300-yard season.
That was a gain of 5 at a 2nd and 5 at the 40-yard line. They picked up the blitz. The pass was thrown to Novacek, and he has a first down, and that's 3 Dallas first downs now on a drive that commenced at the 3. Lumpkin makes the hit.
Well, you know you have a lot of confidence in your offense when you go to the air on first down from the 3-yard line and complete it out beyond your 20. Barry Switzer with so many weapons at his disposal, and Troy Aikman, who didn't play well last week, the first week back after missing a couple weeks with the bad knee. The single most important thing, I think, to come out of tonight's game for the Cowboys would be to see Troy Aikman regain his touch.
From the 47, Emmitt Smith tackled for a loss back at the 45-yard line. Joe Johnson is there, the rookie, the top pick out of Louisville.
You know, one of the offensive weapons that had almost disappeared in the past couple of games for the Dallas Cowboys is Alvin Harper. Only a couple of receptions, and I would think we would see him early on, perhaps with one of his deep routes. Good defensive flow there. Wayne Martin, 93. Frank Warren out there.
There is Harper. He's only caught 33 balls, a little bit more than 2 per game, but he's averaging 25 yards a catch.
Jimmy Spencer's only 5'9", trying to cover him.
Emmitt Smith threads his way up to the 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Saints bring in their dime defense. Pick up double coverage on both Harper and Michael Irvin, and this is where Novacek is such a weapon from the tight end, who is like a wide receiver. And now he comes out and gives way to a 4th wide receiver.
3rd down and 9. They line Novacek up in the backfield. Keep him in the block. And the catch is made by Irvin, and he gets to the 40, and that's a Dallas first down with 1:10 to go in the opening period. And Michael, he's got the bad thigh. The quadricep pull keeps him from practicing full time, and he reached for it right there.
Well, he got the first down yardage against zone coverage. Jimmy Spencer laid off him. Spencer's got deep coverage. He had to play this tighter. He knew exactly where Irvin had to be for the first down. Laid off too far, slipped when he came back. First down, Dallas.
If you had a bruised quadricep, don't you think you'd be wearing some big thigh pads?
It doesn't look good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see much of anything in Michael Irvin's front pockets there protecting his thigh.
Swing pass to Emmitt Smith out in the flat, and he gets tackled. Vinnie Clark stays right with him. Nice play by Clark.
Big time play by Vinnie Clark. Not a cornerback's vision of happiness is being faced one-on-one out in the flat with Emmitt Smith. That was a textbook look at how to tackle somebody in the open field by Clark.
It's a loss of 2. It'll be 2nd and 12. Cowboys huddle up, but that might be the final play of the quarter. There's the game clock ticking down. Aikman takes a look at it, and they'll change directions. That will be the end of the first quarter with the score Dallas 7, New Orleans nothing, and we'll return with Monday Night Football after this message and a word from our ABC station. Again, it's 2nd and 12, Dallas at the 43 of New Orleans. Cowboys on top, 7-0. There's a marker down. Emmitt Smith takes it to the 39-yard line. Dale Hamer.
Holding. Number 60, the offense. 10 yards. Still 2nd down.
Derek Kennard, the former Saint. Let's check in with Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Al, you were talking about Michael Irvin and his thigh. I talked to him last night, and I asked him if it was 90, 95%. He said not even close. And all I'm going to do is wrap it tight to put pressure on my quad to keep it loose, maybe, and that's it. He said this game was too important. He had to play in it because he had to make sure the team had the right attitude going into the playoffs. And Barry Switzer knew that to me before the game. His thigh was bothering him, and he was very concerned as to how long Michael Irvin could go this evening. Al?
2nd down and 22 at the 47-yard line. Aikman, little swing pass out to Emmitt Smith, and he gets crunched at midfield, takes it to the 49.
I think he remembered that was Vinnie Clark that put that good tackle on him on the last play of the first quarter, and now I think Emmitt said, well, try a little of this on for size.
It was like a projectile. He just lowered his head, no move, no. I mean, you anticipate Emmett, who usually gives you a couple of jukes and tries to get around you. This time, he had no hesitation, and he put one on Vinnie Clark.
That may have been a sign of respect for Vinnie. I think that Emmett knew who he was.
3rd and 18. Aikman has been perfect. He's 7 for 7. And Harper can't make the play. He's covered by Vinnie Clark.
Pretty big series for Vinnie Clark.
Well, that one should have been caught. That was right into the hands.
Aikman checking the replay. Clark got into a spat in Atlanta with June Jones, the coach. They put him on the waiver wire, and he's been a key pickup for the Saints.
Well, good play.
Great play by Clark.
It was over the top.
Knocking the ball out with the left hand. Boy, that was sweet.
John Jett to kick. And Tyrone Hughes was back, and then he came up. And they let it roll down to the 4-yard line, and it's down there by Kenneth Gann. So the Saints have pinned with 13:39 to go in the half. And Dallas up 7-0. Vikings and some other teams as well. First down, New Orleans at the 4-yard line. And Mario Bates takes it out to the 8. Now, we mentioned at the beginning the Saints are still alive. Here's what has to happen for New Orleans to get to the playoffs. Number one, they have to win tonight. Then, next Saturday, the Cowboys have to beat the Giants at the Meadowlands. The Buccaneers must beat the Packers in Tampa. The Falcons must beat the Cardinals, all 1 o'clock Eastern time games. If all those things happen, the Saints play a late game at Mile High against Denver, and if they can win that game at 8-8, Tom Benson, the owner of the team, will watch his Saints go into the playoffs.
Of course, if number one doesn't happen,
Yeah,
forget 2 through 5.
It's over. On 2nd and 6, Everett rolling and throwing and winds up hitting Brad Muster, the former Chicago Bear, who has spent a good part of this season injured. He's had a hamstring pull that was slow to heal, and he's just now back in shape.
He's had a couple of tough years. He's had some back problems, hamstring all year, as you just said. But it's been a tough couple of years for Brad Muster. Came here as a free agent.
A couple things in this league. One of them is you got to be good. Number 2 is you got to be healthy. And if you're not healthy, you become a giant question mark. And quite frankly, right now, Brad Muster has reached that stage where you got to wonder how long his NFL career is going to last.
3rd down and 4. Everett guns one, and Torrance Small makes a fabulous catch with his hands almost in the reverse position. Washington and Gann converge on the tackle, and it's a 1st down.
Small, a 5th-round pick in '92, has really come on this year. They're actually getting a lot more out of him than they thought they would. It was his 41st reception of the season, and a beauty, backhanded it. Almost the only way you can catch that ball is backhanded, but I mean, he had the right hand on top.
Good thing his knee was there. I'm not sure he would have retained possession of that thing if he wasn't able to bounce it off his knee on the way up. What a catch.
Torrance Small, their 3rd down specialist. And Mario Bates is off to the races. Mario Bates into Dallas territory and pushed out of bounds by Woodson. Near the 30-yard line, they'll spot it at the 28.
Bates has tremendous acceleration, not great speed, which is pretty obvious when you're run down by Darren Woodson, but he will accelerate out of his cut. That time he plants the left foot and just bursts through the first line of defenders.
They'll put it at the 40-yard line. It's a 40-yard pickup.
Good block by Rolf von Haley.
No surprise that they go to the left side, and then he gets another big block by his tight end, Irv Smith, out front. Quinn Early comes through big. Extremely well-executed running play by the New Orleans Saints. They're still behind, though, 7-0.
Injury timeout. Bates is shaken up. The longest by the Saints this season. So while they work on him, it is Derek Brown back in.
And Derek Brown with a pretty good piece of luck there. It's not often that the ball comes out that cleanly and one hops right back to you. And that's exactly what happened.
And he was just fighting with it.
2nd and 3 at the 33. 11 minutes to go in the half. Cowboys lead 7-0 on a Tolbert interception return in the 1st quarter.
Chad Hennings that time. This front 4 of the Dallas Cowboys, they love to play the game on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Penetration is what it's all about for these guys. Penetration and disruption. And they love to get across the ball, screw up your blocking schemes, and cause chaos and confusion.
Good name for a movie. Penetration and disruption.
Chaos and confusion. That could be the title of this show.
Every week. 3rd and 2 at the 32. Everett throws. The catch is made, but it's underneath, and it's Michael Haynes, and forward progress is just shy of the 30, and that means just shy of a first down.
And that means decision time for Jim Mora.
Dixon Edwards made the play. It's going to be 4th down and less than 1.
His field goal kicker, Morton Anderson, is having a great year. He's not kicking a lot of long ones. He would be almost a dead cinch from here, but what do? You're down 7-0 to the defending Super Bowl champions.
They're going to bring the change in, but he'll be just short of the first down.
That's Robert Jones in the trailing position, and then that's Dixon Edwards.
That's a good tackle.
Comes from the outside. Yeah, he was coming right at him, but
he cut off any potential for first down yardage.
Dale Hammer tells us about 6 inches or so.
Well, critical first down. You think they're going to go left over Ross and Gronkowski? They're going to go, or at least they're going to maybe come out and give us a long count.
.9:53 left in the half. Saints will go for it on 4th and inches.
If you're Carl Smith, do we go left where they think we're going to go, or do we try to break a tendency and go the other direction and maybe catch them slanting to our left and away from the play? You know, it's just a big chess game out there.
Bates is back in the game. He's the tailback behind the fullback Neal. They go left with Bates. He's got the first down on the 29-yard line behind a Lorenzo Neal block. Neal took Robert Jones out of the play, and that made the play.
And when you've got 2 of the best offensive linemen working in the business over on the left side, you almost got to go over there. There's Gronkowski, 72. He gives the pull, and a good block by Bates. Good call out. That was a terrific block.
Sure was.
No first down without that one.
1st and 10 at the 28. 9:05 remaining in the first half. Dallas leading 7-0. Bates through the middle. Good side Cole. Game of 6. Takes it to the 22-yard line. And again, Neal leading the way.
Well, it's a running attack that the New Orleans Saints aren't the first ones to find out that works against the Dallas Cowboys. They are a very fast team laterally, and if you are going to have success running the football, it's between the tackles and it's right upfield. And that's exactly what the Saints are trying to exploit right now.
Take them the way they move when you're blocking it.
Drive started back at the New Orleans 4. This time it's Lorenzo Neal, the second-year fullback out of Fresno State. He gets it to the 20. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1.5 yards. 3rd and short 2.
And you're always better off running right at Charles Haley than you are away from him. It's very Alan Page-ish in the sense that to negate his quickness, you try to neutralize him by attacking him right up front.
He's a risk taker, too. He slides in, he slides out. If you catch him with a straightaway block, you can take him the direction he's going and get a huge hole.
Haley's been replaced by Jeffcoat over on that side.
3rd and a short 2. Strong side right. They go that way, and nothing happens there as the play is broken up. Jim Jeffcoat takes care of Mario Bates. He led the charge, got some help, and it's 4th down. So now Morton Anderson comes in for what will be about a 41-yard attempt.
A rapidly paced game.
Well, anytime as much of it has been played on the ground as this one has, the clock keeps on spinning.
It'll be 40 yards officially. Tommy Barnhart to spot it. Morton Anderson hooks it, and no good.
Like I said, he's having a great year.
1-0. Dallas. Ball comes back to the spot of the missed kick, the 31-yard line, and Aikman goes to work from there. Troy is now 8 of 9, and even in New Orleans, the Moose call goes out. The play is over as Darrell Johnston makes the catch and takes it out to the 36-yard line. The Bud 1 airship. Our blimp tonight in a spectacular sight, the Superdome in New Orleans. The Bud 1 airship floating high above the Crescent City.
And Salute to Darrell Johnson by a lot of Cowboy fans. I think this game is sold out, consequently as seen in New Orleans, principally because a lot of tickets were bought by Dallas fans early in the year.
Which is true in every stadium in the league.
2nd and 4. And Emmitt Smith bangs his way across the 50 to the Saint 49-yard line. A 14-yard gain for the Great One.
This edition of the Dallas Cowboys has truly resurrected the label of America's team. Their fans are everywhere. Doesn't matter if this game's in Tampa against the Buccaneers, in Green Bay against the Packers. They'll be there.
Watch Emmitt Smith cover up the ball. He's coming into tonight. He had fumbled one time and nearly 400 carries. And you see the reason why. Like the great ball carriers, more than that, you're concentrating on tackling Emmitt Smith. You're not trying to swat the ball out. You try to swat the ball, he's gone.
From the 49-yard line. That's knocked down. Nice play by Jimmy Spencer, reaching over to knock it down. The flag goes down, and the Saints secondary goes berserk.
I think the question is going to be, where was Spencer's left arm?
You got it.
Keep in mind, this flag is thrown by somebody who was well behind the play.
And may get help.
Yeah, and so what?
Pass interference. Number 26 in the defense. First down.
Well, he calls it on Vince Buck. Spencer made the play, and the call is on Buck.
Well, then we'll give Jimmy Spencer credit for making the good play.
I think he just mixed up the numbers.
Let's take a look
this
at it.
was the focus of the call. There's the left hand we talked about. We can't see it too well.
Well, there's no interference there. Now, if that was called against Jimmy Spencer, it's called by the guy who's 15 or 20 yards behind him and sees the left hand on the back of the receiver. But it had no bearing at all on the play.
That was Jim Knight, the back judge, and this is Emmitt Smith tackled by Sam Mills after a small gain.
Sam Mills, when he sticks a runner, he sticks it. They go boom, they go down. And he, again, I'll say it, as Dan mentioned, again, 229 pounds.
5'9".
Really hits.
5'9". That's what I can't get over.
This is the leverage. He comes up underneath them, and they just stay, they'd stay stuck.
In a game of behemoths, you wonder how Sam Mills survives in there.
Leading tackler for the Saints.
2nd and 9. Under 5 minutes left in the hand, and it's knocked in the air and picked off by Darian Connor. And Connor is inside the 40, the 30, and tackled at the 16-yard line.
Larry Allen! I can't believe that.
Give me a break. The rookie from Sonoma State.
This guy weighs 325 pounds.
Wayne Martin batted it. We think Darian Connor with the pick, and Allen saves the touchdown.
I can't get over that.
He runs down a very speedy linebacker. A little bit of an angle, but this is a huge man.
This guy's got a rocket booster strapped to his back. All right, there's the bat by Martin. Right into Allen is still standing there. There he is to the left of your screen.
He didn't even get a running start at it.
Look at this, folks. 6'3", 325 pounds.
His arms like a sprinter.
I'm telling you, that's one of the most impressive athletic feats I have ever seen. That's amazing. Well, maybe not I've ever seen, but it's pretty good.
Saints at 15 as Everett off the fake, rolling. Everybody is covered. Seeks the sideline, and he got pushed at the end by Russell Maryland.
And the flag's thrown.
He's out of bounds at the 13.
There's a flag thrown there.
7, shoving the quarterback in the white. Half the distance to the goal.
Ooh, they didn't even hesitate.
He said in the white, which means on the sideline. The white painted area.
Yep, he's in the white. He's out of bounds and going out of bounds, and Russell gives him a good shove. We're going to take one more look at Larry Allen. Now, you're right. This might not be Nadia Comaneci's 10, and this might not be Carl Lewis winning the gold medal. But that is a remarkable piece of running by Larry Allen.
Compton bred in Sonoma State, and what a find he has been. Second-round pick. Well, he's like Sonoma State, he's like a fine Lapierre wine.
It's going to be a long time before Darian Connor lives that down.
What year, Frank?
Oh, 90 is really good.
Okay. First and goal at the 7-yard line. Everett incomplete, intended for Michael Haynes. Second and goal, 4:17 remaining in the first half. Run back's a key part of tonight's game. Tolbert running one back for a touchdown, and then the run back here by Connor. First and goal this season. The Saints have been terrific. 87%, best in the league. The league average 65%. The Saints have had a first and goal 15 times and have gotten into the end zone on 13 of those occasions. On second and goal, they give it to Bates, and he gets about half the distance they need as he takes it down to the 4-yard line. Third and goal now.
I still have visions of Larry Allen in my head. I can't get
to watch.
Good blocking at the point of attack by the Saints. 59-year-old Jim Mora. I can't believe that either.
Third down and goal. Early is in motion. Everett, good protection, throws an incomplete, intended for Torrance Small.
That might have been deflected too as it came out of there. Good coverage on the part of the Cowboys secondary. Carl Smith, the recipient of a chorus of boos with the play calling.
They'll make it 13 out of 16 now as far as touchdowns after a first and goal.
We talk about the Cowboys, how small they are, how quick they are too, but they were rated second overall defensively coming after 14 games, so they are back on the road, taking them back to when they were #1 in '92.
21-yard attempt by Anderson, who bangs it through. Barnhart with the hold. Allen saves 4 points in effect. And inside tonight, the sold-out Louisiana Superdome, where Dallas leads New Orleans 7-3. 3:31 to go in the half, and Morton Anderson sends it ceilingward down to the 8-yard line. Kevin Williams was run back to pick off for a touchdown this season, and a punt as well brings it back to the 24-yard line, tackled by Winford Tubbs. 3:22 left in the first half. The two-time defending champions leading by 4.
Let your
We're speechless.
Was that on the air?
We're on the 24-yard line. Emmitt Smith makes up the yard.
We can't afford something better than that.
Well, UFO transmission.
ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the totally new Ford Contour, a world car for the 21st century. Beechwood Age Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. And Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. 2:52 left in the half. 7-3. The Cowboys on top. Second down at 9. Dallas from the 25-yard line. Troy Aikman. Emmitt Smith has to reach for it. One hands it, picks up 4 after the 28-yard line, tackled by Tubbs.
There's going to be a little bit of frustration on the part of the Cowboys offense. First of all, they didn't get the ball in the first quarter until there was only 6 minutes remaining. They've been unable to move the football, and this against a team that was rated 26th defensively in the league.
Robert Ford communicates with Aikman. He's the tight ends coach. Ernie Zampese is the offensive coordinator.
The Cowboys do not use the electronic helmet. They do not have the speaker in the helmet for Troy Aikman. He doesn't like it. They still rely on the hand signals.
There's Zampese, who sends it down to Ford, and he signals it into Aikman. We come to the 2-minute warning in New Orleans. Larry Allen and Jimmy Spencer runs it in, but he may have stepped out up at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, he did, but it was a great read by Spencer. The blitz was on. He read Troy Aikman going to Michael Irvin, stepped in front of it. Great interception.
And he's out of bounds at the 27, though. He ran it in. A lot of the crowd thinks it's a touchdown, but it's not.
The Cowboy coaches are out on the field. The Saints are now just finding out that he's back at the 27. They're all the way down there. They had their extra point team and everything out there.
No touchdown, but Jimmy Spencer, what a great read. He took a great risk, too. Had Irvin turned that up, it could have been 6.
Larry Allen almost caught him.
The runner was ruled out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Here comes the blitz, single coverage. Aikman knows it, tries to get it to Irvin. Had Irvin turned it up, had Aikman been able to read it, it could have been 6, but this was a good read.
Oh,
He called him back there, but boy, I didn't see him step.
I didn't see him step out either. Yeah, maybe there, maybe at the 1 he's
Maybe
out.
at the 1. Unless a different angle shows us something
That's funny.
other than what I thought I saw there. It didn't look like he stepped out of bounds.
Well, last week we saw an interception return with a lateral in Miami where it should have
Gene
been called
Atkins
back.
stepped out of bounds.
Exactly. And now we have a reverse situation at the 26-yard line. Here's Everett. He's going to float one toward the end zone, and it's broken up at the last moment because it hung, and Clayton Holmes breaks it up, and Quinn Early looks for a flag and doesn't find one.
They come right at Clayton Holmes was filling in for an injured Larry Brown. And Everett short on the ball. Otherwise an easy 6. He had to wait. Did Quinn Early.
It's interference all the way. That's interference. Yeah. Clayton Holmes came down and tomahawked the arms of Quinn Early well before the ball got there. This crowd is booing, and justifiably so.
This crowd would really be booing if they let him look at a replay on that run back.
Yes.
But they didn't show it to the in-stadium crowd. It's 2nd and 10. And the catch is made by Early at the 17-yard line.
Again against Clayton Holmes. He's getting all the attention from the Saints passing attack. As well he should. Larry Brown is a good man-for-man defender. He's out with a shoulder injury, and Holmes, who ordinarily is nickel or a dime man, is in there getting a lot of man-for-man assignments.
The Saints still have all 3 of their timeouts left here, and the clock comes into play.
1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. It's Bates. He takes it inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
I think you got to use one here. Yeah.
And New Orleans takes a timeout now and 8 from the 14-yard line. Everett throws, and the catch is made up at the 16-yard line. Wesley Walls, and actually they're going to say he was out of bounds, and it barely matters there because it would have been no gain anyway. 58 seconds remaining. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Saints have 2 timeouts left.
I don't think Barry Switzer has seen what he wanted to see so far in this first half for his 2-time defending National Football League champions.
They've been tough in this red zone.
3rd down and 8. Everett guns it over the middle. The catch is not made. Wolves had it and dropped it.
Everett had it in there. He's looking for pass interference against Walls.
He's barking away in the end zone, and this is going to bring out Morton Anderson again. Here's a good look at it. This thing is coming right at you. It's a beautiful toss by Everett. There's Walls. Certainly no interference call. James Washington was the closest guy. Torrance Small in there as well.
Oh, and they usually sure-handed Walls.
The 32-yard field goal attempt by Morton Anderson is good. So Morton has missed from 40, but connected on 2 shorter ones. Sharper down the stretch. The Saints still alive, still mathematically alive in their quest to get to the playoffs. Morton Anderson to kick off, and it's a very short kick. Coming up and taking the ball at the 24-yard line is Roger Williams. He's able to get to the corner and then run it upfield to the 47-yard line. And that's where Dallas has it with 42 seconds and 3 timeouts remaining. Next Monday, the final game of the regular season. The 49ers, the #1 seed in the NFC and playing the best football of all, obviously, in the National Football League at the moment, against the Vikings in a game that in all likelihood will be extremely important. If the Vikings win the game, they will win the NFC Central. They will host a first-round game. If they lose, there are all kinds of possibilities. A lot of things can happen next Monday night, contingent upon what happens Saturday and Sunday. Here is Emmitt Smith taking it down to the 42.
You know, a really curious decision by the Saints to give it that high kickoff. The Cowboys have all 3 of their timeouts left. They just used one of them here. This will leave them with 2. But it really allowed the Cowboys to start with dynamic field position, clear up at their own 47-yard line. There was 40-some seconds left on the clock. It's not going to be that difficult for the Cowboys to get into field goal range.
Right now they're at the 42-yard line. They have 36 seconds, and they have 2 timeouts remaining.
You could see the way the Saints were converging, the way they slid over their kickoff coverage unit, that Anderson was going to kick that high pooch kickoff, and it backfired.
Interesting, Ernie Zampese is relaying information down to his quarterback, Troy Aikman. And Ernie Zampese, for 7 years with the Rams, was the coach of Jim Everett. They got together here this evening, and I was talking with Ernie, a former USC Trojan, and saying how proud he was of the way Jim Everett has developed this year.
Ernie, that's bad for you. 1st and 10 at the 42. Pump fake, goes deep, throws it well short. Alvin Harper had got free.
Safety blitz, Tyrone Leggett right in the face of Troy Aikman. Aikman had to release that ball off balance. That one could have been picked off. Going a little rusty from those 2 games off. Rusty against the Browns. There is Leggett right in his face.
Second down, 10 now at the 42-yard line. Kevin Williams in the game as the extra receiver. He was the man in motion. The catch is made over the middle by Jay Novacek. He takes it to the 29-yard line. They are now in field goal range, and they stop the clock with 21 seconds remaining. And 1 timeout.
You know, one of the excuse me, Dan. Again, a good read of the blitz as Novacek and both Aikman were right in sync.
And one of the things I think that Jay Novacek doesn't get enough credit for is how effective he is after he catches the ball. Granted, last week he slipped trying to get into the end zone against the Browns, but Jay Novacek is really a lot more slippery and a lot more fluid than you might think, and he subtly picks up. Look at this. Now there's a miss. He makes a miss. Then there's another move. Then it's the head down. And before you know it, where you look where he might have been tackled, he's picked up another 5, 6, 7 yards. This guy,
field goal range.
Yeah, this guy is going back to the Pro Bowl for good reason. He is a complete ball player. But when you start picking up a half a dozen yards that maybe another guy wouldn't have gotten over the course of a game, that's a lot of good field position for your club.
You looked at Chris Boniol, his longest field goal of the season, 47 yards at Washington in game 4. If they don't pick up another yard here, he'd be looking at a 47-yarder. And the Saints jump. Flags are down. The catch is made underneath by Emmitt Smith, who gets tripped up at the 19-yard line by Sam Mills.
Oh, Troy Aikman's got one of the fine hard counts in the game.
Offside Saints.
Putting right up there with John Elway of drawing people off sides.
Turnbull game over.
Good quarterbacks. They'll save that little extra hard count for just the right moment.
Well, you've got 16 seconds. They're explaining to Aikman, do you want to have a first down and a 5-yard pickup to about the 23 or 2nd and 1 at the 19?
Outside defense, number 97. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
Well, you might as well take the extra 4 yards
Sure.
at this point, because the down means nothing with 16 seconds.
Turnbull offside with Aikman. It's almost imperceptible, but if you're out there as a defensive player, you're keyed up for a big play, and well, it's just that little extra inflection in the voice, and offside you come.
I let Alvin Harper jump up for one in the end zone here. I'd tap onto that leaping ability.
2nd and 1 at the 19, and instead they give it to Emmitt Smith. He gets wrestled down at the 13 by Vince Buck, and Switzer says, give me a timeout, and the clock keeps rolling. And now they're forced into a position where all they can do is kick the field goal.
Boy, if you throw the pass into the end zone, you could have had 2 plays and instead they get one run and now the field goal. Not all that good in the clock management department there by the Cowboys.
Well, vaguely reminiscent of what happened in the Cleveland game, and they were second guessed, and it's kind of silly in a way because Novacek slipped down, as you recall, at the end of the game against Cleveland, and people said, "Why did you throw it into the end zone?" But I mean, if it doesn't slip, they score the touchdown.
Yeah, he's in the end zone easy. That's a moot point, I think.
Brent Musburger in our studio in New York, and he'll visit with Chris Carter, the new record holder. He's now caught more balls than anybody in the history of the National Football League, and we'll see Chris and the Vikings next week in that critical game for them against San Francisco. I had a chance to visit last night with the great Troy Aikman. Pieces of that conversation coming your way at halftime.
I hope Chris Carter bought a beautiful Rolex for Warren Moon, or a sleek sports car or something. His life changed when #1 arrived.
This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt for Boniol. Novacek is the holder, and the rookie sends it through. Chris Boniol from Louisiana. Right now they trail 10-6, and Morton Anderson sends it down to the 2-yard line. Kevin Williams, a little burst up past the 20 and tackled at the 26-yard line, and that's where the Cowboys will begin their first drive. Smith, Cowboys begin this half after amassing the fewest yards in the first half in any game this season. Starting with the San Francisco game, when they went to Candlestick, Aikman has now thrown 1 touchdown pass and 7 interceptions.
It's kind of out of sync, and I think this is what Barry Switzer is so worried about. You like to finish in a burst.
Yep.
And they're in a different kind of a burst.
2nd down and 7 at the 29. Aikman throws, and that's incomplete, intended for Michael Irvin, covered by Spencer. You know, Frank, one of the things, Switzer's in a position where his team can't better its position or worsen it. They're going to be the #2 seed regardless. They don't want to get anybody hurt, obviously. They want to keep their key people healthy. But you're right. They want to obtain that measure of sharpness. And as Barry said, when I was in college, I was never in a situation like this. When you fight for a national championship, you don't have games like we've got tonight and next week.
Doesn't matter if you won the Big 8 with 3 games left to go. An undefeated season and impressing the pollsters is what counts.
That last play, I mean, Aikman and Irvin were totally out of rhythm.
3rd down and 7. And the catch is made by Kevin Williams, and he's out of bounds up at the 40. And let's get a word from Lynn Swann.
Well, Al, Barry was talking about the team at halftime, saying that he liked their intensity. He wants them to come out and not make the mistakes in the first half, and he's going to put the ball up deep. I asked him about Michael Irvin. He said he is still concerned. He talked to Michael. Michael says he wants to play. But if he's going to throw the ball deep and Michael Irvin can't go, maybe this might be the time he needs to consider the fact that they don't have to go undefeated to win the championship and maybe pull them out in the second half. Al?
He has to think about that tonight. He has to think about that with his key people next week in the game at the Meadowlands.
If you want to get some speed at wide receiver, why don't you move Larry Allen out there?
Here's Aikman going deep and too deep and off the hand of Spencer. Alvin Harper well covered on the play.
I think Larry Allen would have got to that ball.
Yeah. 2nd down.
Time Aikman just taking the risk, and not a risk really. Alvin Harper has gone up and come down with a lot of footballs for him. A good position. Jimmy Spencer, he knows he's got help to the inside. Jimmy Spencer only is 5'9", and Harper is 6'3", but he had good position.
You know, thinking about Switzer and George Seifert next week in Minnesota, you've got 2 coaches now, and they're in a cross current. You have to think about your team, but you also have to think about the integrity of the league. Pick up in a second on that as Emmitt Smith picks up a couple. Now, Switzer clearly wants to keep his guys healthy, but that's a very important game for the New York Giants next week. It could determine their playoff fate, and you owe it to the integrity of the game to play your key people.
And I agree with it.
Well, I agree with it too, but you want to coach the team the best you can to take it to one thing, and that's the Super Bowl if you can get there. And I think Barry Switzer, quite honestly, would like to play his guys as tough as he can tonight. And I think that he'll probably back off a little bit against the Giants.
Yep. And Seifert's in that same position at Minnesota next week. 3rd down and 8 at the 43-yard line. Aikman throws. The catch is made. That's a first down as Michael Irvin hauls it in at the 48.
And taking that another step, I think another consideration here for Barry Switzer and the Cowboys is not just the integrity of the league, which I agree with you, Al, wholeheartedly, but he needs his club, especially offensively, to start playing better.
Right.
This is no way to be heading into the playoffs herky-jerky, not moving the ball consistently. You know, a good barometer, we were here 3 weeks ago to watch the 49ers play the Saints, and they dismembered the Saints. I mean, they ran them out of the building 35-14, and I'm not seeing that same level of play out of the Cowboys tonight that we witnessed 3 weeks ago by the 49ers.
Well, you got 5 of this front 7 for the Dallas Cowboys are headed for the Pro Bowl, and they're not playing that way tonight.
And don't tell me Jerry Jones, the man in the middle there, isn't concerned.
It is second down and 6 at the 43-yard line. 11:40 to go, third quarter. Cowboys 10, Saints 6. And Emmitt Smith takes it to the 38, tackled by Turnbull and Mills.
You know, some of you listening to the three of us here dissect the Cowboys might, you know, say, well, geez, guys, aren't they winning the ball game 10-6? Yes, they are. But when you're the two-time defending Super Bowl champions, you are judged and you are gauged on a different level than everybody else. And this is, everybody is looking at the potential Cowboy 49er clash if it happens in the NFC Championship game. And everything both the 49ers and the Cowboys do between now and then is a prelude to that, and it's going to be judged.
3rd and 1. Emmitt Smith takes it down to the 36.
And this is a defensive team on the part of the New Orleans Saints that after 14 games ranked 26th out of 28 teams in the league, and the Cowboys are hardly running over them.
No, but we will say this to credit the Saints. They have been getting better, and they have been playing better as weeks go by. Jim Moore, in my estimation, has really done the right thing in breaking this thing all the way down, starting over in a sense, kept some key people like that guy Sam Mills, but he has blended in a lot of kids and a lot of good young talent. It'll be painful for a while, but they are improving.
10th play of the drive. 1st and 10 from the 36, and Aikman is on the money, and the catch is made by Michael Irvin, and he's bumped out of bounds at the 25-yard line. This is another first down.
And more of a kind of drive we're used to watching when the Cowboys are in sync and in gear. This drive starting at their own 25, a little bit of sprinkle in a little Smith, you throw in a little Irvin.
See how gingerly Michael moves back to the huddle.
They must have determined that he can't damage that any further, because he would certainly be somebody you would not be taking a risk with in a game that, as we pointed out, is really not that meaningful event.
1st and 10 at the 24. Emmitt Smith. I'm not quite sure I've ever understood when somebody says you can't damage something any further. I mean, it's when you think about it in a literal sense.
Well, Junior Seau, he's a classic. He's playing with a pinched nerve that affects him dramatically. He hardly used one arm, and yet I'm sure his medical people would not let him play if he's going to damage it any further. I don't know. I better pull quadricep, and you can really damage it. You can get it to the point where you can't play.
Yeah, his is more along the lines of a bruise rather than a pull. But yeah, I think any muscle injury can be aggravated.
2nd and 10 at the 24-yard line. Aikman hangs in that pocket, hits Novacek, breaks the tackle by Mills, and Jay gets taken down at the 14, and that's very close to a first down.
We were talking about that right before the half. Once he catches the football, he is a Brent Jones type. The two best tight ends in the game today.
Robert Ford flashing in the signal. It's a first down, Dallas.
A guy originally not protected by the Arizona Cardinals, came to Dallas as a Plan B guy, and boy, what an addition Jay Novacek has been, the Cowboy from Wyoming.
1st and 10 at the 14. The Cowboys on the opening drive of the second half, leading by 4, looking for more. Emmitt Smith takes it to the 7, and Smith's smelling that end zone. Emmitt has scored 2 touchdowns in each of his last 6 games, and as we mentioned at the very beginning, 21 touchdowns this season, 3 shy of John Riggins' all-time NFL record.
And this has to be bringing a smile to Barry Switzer's face. This is the kind of a drive that he's been used to seeing, and there's an illustration there of who's in front of Emmitt Smith. Foreman, Sayers, Rice, Simpson, Riggins with 24. Emmitt 3 away from tying. 20 rushing, 1 receiving.
2nd and 4. Smith dancing and guarding. Stopped at the 6-yard line. It'll be 3rd and a deuce. Sam Mills makes the stop.
The one impressive number that we saw on that list, O.J. Simpson, he did that in a 14-game season. Chuck Foreman's numbers up there were during the 14-game season as well. When these guys have the benefit now of playing 16 games.
That's something New Orleans really wants to corral. Big number 84 here. This is Novacek territory.
15th play of a drive that's consumed almost 8 minutes. 3rd and 2. Aikman, the deep drop. Good protection, but the coverage is there, and he's going to run it down to the 2 for a 1st and goal. Hit by Winfred Tubbs, the rookie.
Well, you can get the coverage, but then you can't get the pressure. Good coverage, good pickup of Irvin and Harper and Novacek. But they couldn't get the pressure on Aikman, and he almost took it in. Looking for Novacek. Pulls it down.
No slide here by Troy Aikman. He goes down there head first. Looked initially when he broke out of the pocket like he might find his way into the end zone.
1st and goal from the 1.
From 22.
Emmitt Smith looking for a 22nd touchdown, and that's 22 for 22.
From the 2.
And a great drive by the Cowboys.
That drive is 74 yards and takes 8:33 off the clock.
That's a championship drive.
I'd like to have been in that locker room at halftime. They're not a very demonstrative ball club, but I bet they were talking to each other. Not so much the coaching staff. Emmett took a little peek to the inside, saw it easy to the outside, was sprinted around Vince Buck.
Tuane Newton, Jay Novacek working the left side. Well executed running play.
O'Neal for the point after. The Cowboys on that drive picked up 7 first downs. 6:27 to go in the 3rd. Dallas extends its lead to 11. And whacked them. 17 left in the 3rd.
When you come home for the holidays this year, don't forget the Miller Beer, because inside specially marked 12 packs and cases, you'll find coupons for big savings on CDs and cassettes at Sam Goody and Musicland. So much for a silent night.
Shop to win in the Discover Card Big Payback. That's what Shig Ura did. She just won 50 grand in our weekly bonus prize drawing. You could be a winner too. Every time you use your card, you're automatically entered in the Big Payback. So keep shopping, because we'll be dropping more $50,000 bonus prizes before the ultimate $1 million grand prize. It pays to discover. The card with the Big Payback.
If someone said they wanted a car that was as quiet as a Mercedes, yet as practical as an Accord, that handled as well as a BMW, but was as economical as a Nissan Altima, and that somebody said they wanted all of this in one car, you'd say they had their head in the clouds. And you'd be right. Chrysler Cirrus, Motor Trend's Car of the Year. It's not just a step above. It's the new plateau.
College football's top senior stars play a holiday football tradition. They'll strut their stuff in the Kelly Tires Blue-Gray All-Star Classic, Christmas Day on ABC.
Well, the Cowboys are seeking their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl title, but gents, we've seen the 49ers lately. We'll see them next week. It's hard to imagine anybody can be playing any better than San Francisco at this moment.
491 points. They lead the league in scoring, and that's well over 100 points more than the second leading team, Dallas.
But, again, we all know Dallas, how well they've played. in the postseason the last couple of years. They have gone to San Francisco and won an NFC Championship game. And the way they are starting to play here in the second half, Charles Haley giving a good look at maybe they're going to pick up the tempo a little bit defensively. It's just a matter of them gaining some momentum here, I think, heading into the postseason. It's what Barry Switzer's looking for. They're still the two best teams in football, and I don't see anybody else really gaining that level quite yet.
Still would like to have been there at halftime. This team has a lot of pride. There's a lot of individuals down there that care so much about themselves personally as it fits into a team, and I bet there was some chatting going on.
They want to write some history. They want to be the first one to win 3 in a row.
Bates, after that 8-yard loss, takes this little pass from Everett and brings it up to the 36-yard line.
And when I say 3 in a row, I'm talking Super Bowls. NFL historians remember that the Green Bay Packers won 3 NFL championships in a row. That was one of those was they were pre-Super Bowl, but this is a team that wants to bring that Lombardi trophy back to Dallas for the 3rd consecutive time, and it has not been done before.
For a number of reasons, and Aikman expressed one of them at the half. They're out to prove something. It's 3rd down and 8 at the 36-yard line. And the catch is made by Quinn Early, who gets wrestled out of bounds by Holmes, but he picks up the first down near midfield.
It always happens when a cornerback goes out of a game, a good defensive back. You bring in a man who hasn't played that position much. They find him, they work him all night long, and we've seen them going at Clayton Holmes all night long. Went early with the little drive. Pretty good positioning on the part of Holmes. Just good protection for Jim Everett.
Again, Clayton Holmes playing tonight because Larry Brown, his sprained left shoulder, is getting a rest tonight. Switzer trying to get him back ready.
Here is Neal, and he gets wrestled down. That's Tony Tolbert, who in the first quarter intercepted a pass and ran it back for a Dallas touchdown. Well, I talked to Jimmy Johnson today. I had to give him a call and just ask him what he thought about the Cowboys this year in relation to the 49ers. And he said just because they lost to Cleveland and to San Francisco recently, he said people can fall into a trap thinking they can't beat the 49ers. He sees the San Francisco-Dallas matchup, if it happens, as a toss-up. 2nd and 13 as the catch is made by Michael Haynes.
Did he happen to tell you what his plans were?
Well, I wanted to see if there was a follow-up. He said my intentions are, as I stated yesterday.
Oh, he did? Oh, I didn't realize that.
So here's Barry Switzer at work today. And what was Jimmy doing when I first placed the call? He was out finding snails for his aquariums.
Yeah, now we've carried the Jimmy Johnson thing about as far. When you start talking about his snails, I mean, we've gone over the edge with that.
We covered that. That's about all we're left with on Monday night, right?
That's right.
Everything else was taken care of over the weekend.
Where do we escargot from here?
Okay. Right to dessert. Yeah. They're going to measure. And that will be a first down. You know, there are some people who still think that even though Jimmy said what he said.
I wonder why. I mean, Jimmy said things in the past that one would question.
Well, not just Jimmy, but, you know, as Dan pointed out last week, people in this business have been known to change their minds before.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Everett pump fakes. Goes deep. Low short. Flag down.
Quinn Early crafted the double coverage. 97 is Washington.
I think James Washington is arguing we were looking back at the football. That we both got a right to that ball.
Pass interference. Defense, number 28. First down is spotted a foul.
They call it against Darren Woodson. It's Clayton Holmes and Washington in the coverage. There is Darren Woodson, number 28. The short coverage with Holmes. Woodson over there to help him.
The only thing I can figure out is what he calls, see the left arm?
The left arm.
That's the call. The call is not Woodson playing the ball at the end of this play. It's about 4 or 5 yards back upfield. He clearly had the left arm impeding progress. Good call by the official.
First and 10 at the 13. Mario Bates hit hard at the 10-yard line. Darren Woodson comes up to knock him down.
There it is, right there. That's interference.
Oh, there's no question. He's holding the right arm down of Quinn Early. He can't even get the arm up for the catch.
That's interference, but there's Woodson saying, hey, take a look at the video board up here. That's really a fine play on my part. Notice the official is not playing the board, but he's playing the defensive back.
30. No dice. 2nd and 7 at the 10.
Contrary to Al, no dice.
No dice, yes. Is Mario Bates taking it to the 6.
Mario Bates on a little bit of a roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Like bones traveling down that field all the way to the 6-yard line. 3rd and 3.
Jim Moore, maybe one of the fine jobs of many fine jobs he's done coaching. Interesting guy, very loyal guy. He's got guys who've been with him for years. His 2 coordinators were with him at the University of Colorado.
3rd down and 3 at the 7-yard line. Early in motion. Everett, that deep drop. Flushed out. Dixon Edwards blows him down to the 15-yard line, and Morton Anderson comes in to try a field goal.
Not pretty, but he didn't do something ugly either. I mean, he could have got himself in trouble, thrown that away, had it picked off.
But he's out of the pocket, Frank. He's able to throw that ball clear, just toss it out of bounds. He's out of the pocket. But he could have thrown it laterally out of bounds. He's out of that pocket, has the protection. There's no intentional grounding. He could have just flicked it out of bounds and saved his team a little yardage.
Morton Anderson now, this is the 30-yard attempt, Barnhart to hold. He's made him from 21 and 32 and missed from 40. And this one is good. Officially a 29-yarder for Morton, who's accounted for all of the Saints scoring. Cowboys 17, Saints 9. Boys on top 17-9. Williams from the 6. And he gets taken down up at the 28-yard line by Winfred Tubbs with 1:20 left in the 3rd. The Cowboys 17. New Orleans sleepless. Net King Cole. From the 28-yard line, the Dallas Cowboys have Emmitt Smith picked up 7 to the 35.
Did Emmitt hurt himself? Emmitt clutched at his leg when he was going down. Oh, boy. He really went down awkwardly. He looked like he caught his feet somehow. Let's take a look at this from behind. Watch the feet of Emmitt Smith. Ooh, right there, the left leg. Boy, that, Frank, I'm not going to guess. But I've seen guys do that before.
Hamstring problems.
And that looks like a classic guy pulling his hamstring.
Yep, he had it last year, missed a couple of games, which they promptly lost.
And look at him grab with that right hand going for the left leg.
Well, while the Cowboys hold their breath, we'll step aside for
Blair
a second.
Thomas
work
is
on
his
Emmitt
backup.
Smith, and Blair Thomas, recently signed, will come in to take his place. Not putting any weight in, lunges for a couple of yards. Meanwhile, Blair Thomas comes in to take his place. And this was his 19th carry of the night. He picks up 74 yards. And all right, that'll do it for the evening, obviously.
Watch on this step right here as he really puts weight on the left leg. Boy, he just goes down. Doesn't want to risk putting anything on that thing again. And here's a look at Emmitt as he was helped off, an arm over the shoulder of 2 Cowboy medical personnel. And it hurts. That's a guy who has never missed a regular season game because of injury. Everybody remembers he missed a couple last year during the contract dispute.
3rd down and 2, and that's Blair Thomas picking up a first down. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Chrysler and the new Chrysler Cirrus Sport Sedan. Red Dog, bold yet smooth. unusually easy to drink. This is Red Dog territory. And the Discover card, it pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
Well, in case you...
That is the end of the third quarter. The score is Dallas 17, New Orleans 9.
Angst and anguish in Dallas for, I think, a while to come.
Here is Kevin Williams up to the 46-yard line. He may begin rehab within the hour.
And for the balance of this game, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, there is no way that is not a tremendous distraction. Every guy on this football team right now is trying to do a job, but at the same time wondering about Emmett.
Interesting, Blair Thomas, who came in, was taken in the first round the same year as Emmitt Smith, taken way ahead of him in the draft. He was the third player picked by the Jets, and he went up. They released him a year ago. He went up to New England. They released him in October, and the Dallas Cowboys signed him November 23rd.
2nd and 3, and they give it to Thomas. He takes it to the 49-yard line. If there's any encouraging news or good news for the Cowboys in this regard, and we're not going to speculate as to the length of
I want to hear this.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, at least next week is a game that doesn't mean anything for Dallas. The following week is a week off. The following week they are at home and not playing the 49ers. So it would be almost 4 weeks before Emmett would have to play against the 49ers.
And last year he returned after what, 2 weeks?
Well, we all know.
He came back from a pulled hamstring.
We all know how Emmitt Smith can play with pain. But a hamstring is different than a shoulder.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line as Aikman retreats. Throws to Irvin. 1st down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
And Michael's not exactly looking real game right now, is he?
Gary Jones walking the sidelines, came down to check on Emmitt Smith, I'm sure. But I'll tell you, Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin right in sync on that play. Instead of trying to throw a block for Aikman, he just knew that he was going to be released, and Aikman was reading it with him. Good play by both of them.
There's Jerry going over to the cart that has Emmitt Smith. Al, your point is valid about it is 3 weeks until they play that first playoff game. But even though it is at home, that's the game you got to look at instead of the 49er game.
Aikman throws to Irvin, and that's a 1st down. Vinnie Clark.
Now that's more Aikman too than we've seen tonight.
Well, the Cowboys have proven they can win without Aikman. They've done it with Jason Garrett. They've done it with Rodney Peete.
I know where you're headed.
Here's the guy they've not proven they can win without.
Well, the 2 games he didn't play last year, they lost both of them. The first 2 games of the season.
And that was when he had the hamstring and came back the 3rd week.
Here is the heart and soul of the Dallas Cowboys going off on a cart.
1st and 10 at the 16. Blair Thomas. And just to follow up, we started the discussion earlier in the 3rd quarter. Coaches are put in a quandary in situations like this. George Seifert's in the same position next week against Minnesota. How much does Steve Young play? How much does Ricky Waters play? How much does Jerry Rice play in a game that means nothing to San Francisco and could mean a heck of a lot to Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, and others?
I think you have, when you are playing a game where the outcome of that game impacts other people in the league and other teams, I think you have a moral obligation to try to compete in that football game.
2nd and 10, and off the fingertips of Darrell Johnston. The obligation is there. The question is, how much do those guys play? That's the question.
There's all kinds of things enter into it. So you're talking about incentive on part of some of the players involved in it.
Valid point.
There's a lot enters into it. I think as a coach, you play a game to win a football game. You don't play somebody that's hurt. You don't play somebody who's got a nick. You can not do that at that particular point.
Well, I think coaches will tell you that they can't become distracted thinking about your people out there getting hurt.
And nor they should they.
3rd down and 10 at the 16-yard line. And timeout is taken. 11:37 remaining in regulation. The Cowboys leading the Saints.
Interesting, I think, how this Superdome crowd, which obviously the vast majority of them are pro Saints, have been subdued. Even they realize the magnitude of what happened when Emmitt Smith got carried off the football field. They're starting to get back into it, but boy, it was quiet here for a long time.
3rd down and 10 at the 16-yard line. Aikman throws low, intended for Novacek. Where's the flag, and here it comes.
Came in way late.
Well, he almost got tackled.
Holding. Defense, number 33. 5 yards. First down.
Tyrone Hughes, the return specialist.
I think Novacek changed directions on Tyrone a little quickly, and he didn't know what to do other than just try to hog tie him.
Said earlier that Blair Thomas was taken in the third player in the 90 draft. It's the second player, actually, even one higher than I said.
And the only guy taken in front of him was Jeff George by Indianapolis that year. And this is Thomas going nowhere. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Now, Thomas was picked up because Lincoln Coleman had been the backup running back, but just wasn't really doing the job. So there he is. He's not hurt, but he's inactive. So he's in civvies tonight, but he figures to be wearing a regular Cowboys shirt next Saturday at the Meadowlands.
A year ago last Thanksgiving, with Emmett Thomas out with a pulled hamstring, that Coleman had that tremendous game against the Miami Dolphins.
On 2nd and 11. Moose Johnston takes it to the 3-yard line. Tackled by Vinnie Clark.
If you want to get in a fight in the alley, wouldn't you like to have him on your side?
Oh, you better believe it.
Tough guy.
Big. You're looking at a guy 6'2", 242 pounds. 25 years ago, Darrell Johnston would have been a guard in the National Football League.
And a big one.
And a good size one, you're right. Now he's a fullback.
12th play of the drive, 3rd down and 2. Bit of a tight formation with Novacek in motion. And toss it back to Blair Thomas. Close to a first down. Winfred Tubbs knocks him down at about the 2.5.
Thomas came up in 90s. We said he had 620 yards with the Jets as a rookie, and then 91 over 700 yards. Hurt his knee in 92 and struggled through last year. Released, signed by New England, and had 19 attempts this year for 67 yards in New England before Bill Parcells said that's it.
It's 4th down and inches, and the reason they're going to kick the field goal here is you might as well, with an 8-point lead and the new rule this year, tack on the 3 to take them out of touchdown and conversion range, and thus it's a 20-yard field goal that is blocked. And they're still down by 8 are the Saints. Chris Boniol sees his 20-yarder rejected.
Well, it was because of penetration. It wasn't a low kick. The Saints did a good job of hand up and block.
Saints down by 8. They fake the end around, and then it's intercepted after the deflection. Darren Smith runs it in for the touchdown. Woo. Off the hands of Derek Brown right there, number 21, and into the hands of Darren Smith.
Well, a whole lot of faking. They faked the end around, and then we're just going to throw a one-blocker screen to Brown, and geez.
I don't understand quite the faking. You don't fake a reverse. You don't run a reverse down in this part of the field inside your own 10-yard line, so why even bother faking it? And with his back to the secondary, and that was just mishandled by Derek Brown, and a good heads-up play by Darren Smith.
Thing just hopped right to him.
Boniol for the point after. Cowboys have run 2 interceptions back for touchdowns tonight. Tolbert in the first. On with you, the next to last weekend of the regular season. Culminating here, the Dallas Cowboys lead by 15. Jim Everett has watched 2 of his passes intercepted tonight and run back for touchdowns. And this is Tyrone Hughes running back this kick. to the 36-yard line. And Tyrone Hughes just establishes a new NFL record for most kickoff returns in a season. 61. 9:06 left in regulation. Dallas 24, New Orleans 9.
That one should have been caught by Derek Brown.
To Emmitt Smith occurred on this play.
Right there when he planted the left foot, he popped it and immediately went down.
It wasn't as bad as when he left the field. He was practically carried off the field. He couldn't put any weight on it at all.
Everett hitting Derek Brown. He's tackled by Darren Smith. Clock ticks down to 7 minutes to play.
I'm going to speculate here that when Emmitt injured his hamstring before, it was not as severe a pull as that one right there. And I think
I would have to agree.
Swanee's point is valid, but that right there in our observation of watching Emmitt on the ground and then the way he had to leave the field, that's a bad one.
On 2nd and 9, Torrance Small makes the catch over the middle and takes it down to the 8-yard line. Tackled by Washington. It's going to be 1st and goal.
You know, I've missed time myself with pulled hamstrings. I think Lynn has, a matter of fact, and I've never had one like that, and that's one of the worst I've seen. Usually you can get off the field.
Yes, I agree. I've hurt mine before too and missed a little time, but no, not to where I had to be helped off the field like that.
On 1st and goal, this is Haynes, and he's out of bounds at the 4. Meanwhile, the Saints, trying to keep their very flickering and faint playoff hopes alive, are marching down where if they can score here, they, even with a single-point conversion, would still be within 8.
Good catch, backhand. About the only way you can catch that ball is backhanded. I talked about it earlier. That means the right hand over comes across in front of your face. Receiver coaches will tell you not to catch that way, but something like that, you've got to catch it that way.
2nd down and goal. The inside handoff goes to Derek Brown. Brown fighting his way in for the touchdown.
All of a sudden, we got a game here.
Yep. Derek Brown, he battled and scrapped his way in there. He was the one that caught the last interception.
They got to go for 2 either on this one or the next one.
Right, 24-15. They're down by 9. At some point, they're going to kick it here and then go for 2 after what they hope is another touchdown, obviously.
Look at this. This is a good battle put on by Derek Brown. The 3rd down back used on short yardage in this drive. Got to feel bad about that interception that Jim Everett suffered on a pass that he should have caught.
Here's Morton Anderson for the point after.
And that's really a smart play by the Saints to kick the extra point here, because if you would try for 2 here and fail, then that leaves you 9 points behind, which translates into 2 scores. So you've got to kick the extra point and then hope you can convert the 2 next time to tie the ball game and send it into overtime.
And you'd be pretty emotionally deflated, too, after moving down the field.
Yeah.
Morton Anderson sends it down to the 1-yard line where it is dropped by Kevin Williams. And he brings it back to the 13. Here's flag down. Joel Smingy made the hit.
This will back Dallas up even more.
Ooh, this is getting serious if you're a Dallas Cowboy.
Kenny Wolf, our illustrious producer.
89 for the kicking team. Illegal block. After distance to the goal. 1st down.
Craig Janoff, our director, going to give us a look-see here. If we can see Scott Galbraith, his illegal block. There it is.
Right in the back.
Yep. Right in the back of Daryl Mitchell. Backup wide receiver.
1st and 10 at the 6-yard line.
And it will be noisy for the Dallas Cowboys. Whatever they plan on calling, they better call it in the huddle. No changes at the line of scrimmage for Troy Aikman.
Aikman dumps it underneath to Johnston and moves his tackle to the 9 by Lumpkin.
3 at the most.
Again, deep in their own territory, backed up. The Cowboys pass the ball on 1st down. Really a high percentage play. It's a good call. Ernie Zampese going to the air on 1st down. Everybody's thinking run. It's a good, smart call, and it of course, is aided by the fact that he's got a quarterback like Troy Aikman pulling the trigger.
2nd and 6. At the 10. Aikman. Short, underneath, catch is made. Novacek at the 12-yard line. 3rd and 4, Vince Buck.
Same principle, though. High percentage stuff, and you get it to another receiver, Jay Novacek, who can ordinarily run the football well. He was covered well, and now we're in a pass situation again. 3rd down and a long 3. Let's make it 4. Let's put it up in the air time.
Clock ticking, 4:10 left in the 4th. Aikman to Johnston, but he's tackled. A great tackle by Sam Mills to prevent a 1st down.
Blitz time for New Orleans. It was a good call. What they call their blitz zone. And Tyrone Leggett has been effective tonight. Came in from the left side towards Aikman out of the pocket. He was off balance. Had to get rid of it, or he would have been sacked back around the 2 or 3 yard line.
What an excellent series for the Saints defensively. Here's a look at it, and another look at Sam Mills, who has just played an outstanding football game tonight in the middle for the Saints. 35 years old, 5'9", and still an all-star.
Jets kick off the side of his foot, but it takes a good Dallas bounce. Hughes at the 40 brings it back to the 45-yard line.
At this stage of the ballgame on Monday night, that end zone, though, is a long ways away.
From the 45, here's Everett throwing. Haynes makes the catch, steps out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
They do not look as lively as they did at the start of this ballgame.
Everett throws it out of bounds.
Missing man.
2nd and 10. Everett throws, and that's batted away at the last moment by Clayton Holmes. Haley looks on. 3rd down and 10. Everett throws, and it's picked off at the 20-yard line. Darren Smith, who picked off the last one and ran it in for a touchdown.
Well, Jim Everett looks downfield, and once again, Darren Smith was open.
Boy, Jim really forced that pass.
He did.
The interceptions tonight have been killers.
Cowboys sitting back in their 2-deep zone and getting the underneath men. Again, we talked about their speed. We've talked about it all night. Their linebackers, Darren Smith, Dixon Edwards. And this time, Darren Smith using that speed to step in front of the intended receiver, Wesley Walls,
who did not appear to be open at all. I mean, that's just an excellent coverage there by Smith. At no point in time did it appear that Wesley Walls was open.
Johnston for 3, and the Saints have to take a timeout.
They'll have 2 left plus the 2-minute warning. So if Dallas doesn't get a 1st down, the Saints will get the ball again.
But as you look at Jim Everett, 3 interceptions tonight, 2 of them run back for touchdowns, and this one ends what could have been a game-tying drive.
Yep. He's had such a fine year into tonight. Not a good night.
And Jim Everett, by the way, for those of you who don't live here in New Orleans and don't follow the Saints on a weekly basis, will be the quarterback of the Saints for some time to come. Jim Mora is extremely pleased with the year he's gotten from Jim Everett. He's provided a great deal of stability. Every offensive starter on this ball club is signed and will be back next year.
And they're happy with him.
Yep. There are some backups. That's Wade Wilson, Doug Nussmeier. So this is an offensive team that is set. They've got 3 free agents defensively that Jim would like to have back. He'd like to get Darian Connor, Sam Mills, and Vinnie Clark. 3 of his people signed and back in the fold for next year.
I mean, he's going to be sniffing around the free agency market for a defensive lineman, maybe a couple of defensive linemen.
The 25-yard line.
There wasn't contact before that?
So the play counts. That's what they're saying. Blair Thomas picks up 4 out to the 29-yard line.
Offside. Defense, number 91, 5 yards. Repeat, second down.
Well, where a first down kills you, giving them 5 yards the easy way is painful. It'll be
Saints
second.
have 2 timeouts remaining. 2.
The scoreboard is indicating 3. Dale Hamer telling the folks in attendance here, don't pay attention to that. They've just now knocked it down 1 to 2.
Second down and 1.5 yards. Short 2 at the 30-yard line. That much time left in regulation. Cowboys leading 24-16. Blair Thomas gets stopped at the line of scrimmage, and here's a timeout now taken by the Saints. They have 1 remaining.
I don't mean to demean Blair Thomas, but you just look at an Emmitt Smith and the same kind of a carry, and somehow or other he kind of bounces off, or he just pulls over somebody, and he's going to be a lot closer to a first down than Blair Thomas was on that play.
Well, with Emmitt Smith gone, the other thing, just as an asterisk, John Riggins' record is no longer in jeopardy with the 24 touchdowns. Emmitt will wind up the season with 22 because you can count on him not playing next week, obviously. And as we mentioned, the Cowboys will then have a week off. Their next game will come either on the 7th or 8th of January in Irving, Texas. And then if they are to meet the 49ers for the NFC Championship, that will take place at Candlestick Park on the 15th of January. And, we're assuming that San Francisco wins its game on the weekend of the 7th. If they somehow were upset, the Cowboys could host the NFC Championship game. They are the number 2 seed in effect.
Stranger things have happened.
They sure have.
I'm trying to remember when.
3rd and 1. And this is Tommy Agee, the backup fullback, who vaults for a first down, and that's a big first down because that's going to just about end it for the Saints in terms of time remaining. Barry Switzer now can afford a smile, but it's kind of an empty smile on a night like tonight. They're going to win the game in all likelihood, but what about Emmitt?
Cowboys don't have to run a play until we get down to the 2-minute warning. The Saints will then still have 1 timeout left. They'll be able to stop the clock after the first play by the Cowboys. But these are going to be ticklish times in Dallas, as all eyes will be cast upon the left hamstring of Emmitt Smith.
The Saints really should have called a timeout before that 2-minute warning. Then it would have been second down here. Instead, it's first down, and they have 1 more timeout remaining. But the way this one is going, it's pretty much a moot point as Moose Johnston takes it up to the 37.
I was just thinking at 6 and 9, they should be eliminated from the playoffs.
Well, at 8 and 8, you shouldn't go to the playoffs anyway. But a couple of teams have in the past. One of them was the Saints in '90 and the Jets in '91.
Offside. Defense, number 73. 5 yards. Still second down.
And our other components, Mark Amento, Brian Mogelson, Bill Monahan. We thank the gang and wish everybody, from all of us who bring you Monday Night Football week after week, a very Merry Christmas.
Good evening to fans of Monday Night Football. They've been great this year. The numbers and some of the games we've had, not the wildly attractive ones we've had, but they've stuck with us. We've got good numbers, and we thank you and wish you a Merry Christmas.
Well, we sure do. Happy holidays, everybody.
Second and short. Moose picks up a first down. Well, the Cowboys will go to 12-3. They play the Giants next week at the Meadowlands. It's a key game. The Giants have a chance to get in. I think many of you know the Giants, with a win, need a Tampa Bay victory over Green Bay in conjunction with their win to make it into the playoffs.
Well, some kids will have visions of sugar plums dancing in their head. I'll have visions of Larry Allen streaking down the line.
Dan Reeves had that great quote that we didn't have that 7-game losing streak, we'd be undefeated.
It's a good line.
Amazing season for the Giants. So the game will end with a couple of kneel downs here. And the Dallas Cowboys will wrap it up at the Meadowlands, take the week off, go into the playoffs. The Saints will go to Denver next week in what will be a meaningless regular season finale. Will be in Minnesota, and in all likelihood, as I say, that's going to be a vitally important game, not only for the Vikings, but conceivably for Chicago, for Detroit, for Green Bay. A lot of playoff pairings could be determined with the outcome of that one. What a wild year, and what a great year for the fans.
Say what you want about parity, and the elitists, I guess they're going to knock it and whack it, but it sure has created the fan interest.
There's Larry Allen, Olympic sprinter. Jim Everett saw those 3 interceptions come back to haunt him and really kill the Saints' hopes tonight as the Dallas Cowboys knock off the New Orleans Saints. Jerry Jones going back to check on Emmitt Smith. The final score is Dallas 24 and New Orleans 16. And we will visit with you next from the Metrodome in Minneapolis next Monday night. The San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. Until then, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, Lynn Swan. Good night from New Orleans.